Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 51 based on novel. So let's start. This is. With the formation of the formation broken, Yu Hui gasped for breath. Obviously, the all-out strike just now took a lot of their strength to break the formation. Only the last trace of silver light left on the body also illuminated the cave, and the figures who attacked the two of them slowly emerged. A rather beautiful woman had a faint cyan do chi emerging from her body, and the other was a man in a Taoist robe. It's just that at this time, in the middle of the two, a man with a heavy ruler on his back caught the attention of Yu Hui and Yu Jing. It was said that the man with a heavy ruler on his back attracted the attention of Yu Hui and Yu Jing. Rather, it was the beautiful lotus seeds wrapped in flames in Xiao Yan's hands that attracted their attention. On the delicate lotus seeds, a miniature giant dragon is constantly swimming back and forth. But at this time, the pupils of Yu Hui and Yu Jing widened deeply. The two of them felt a destructive wave from the fire lotus seed. Not good. Yu Hui shouted. Xiao Yan moved just when he realized that the fire lotus was not able to resist and was about to escape. Since you're here, how can there be a reason for you to leave? Lotus of silence. Following Xiao Yan's loud shout, a tiny fire lotus with 22 colors in his hand flew towards Yu Hui and Yu Jing at the speed of sound. Wherever the fire lotus went, the space seemed to be unable to support this terrifying strength and temperature, and could not help shaking slightly, as if it were broken at any time. The speed of Hua Lian was extremely fast, and in the next moment, it arrived in front of the two of them, and then attacked Yu Jing and the two. Above Hua Lian's body, the huge battle chi turned into a giant dragon, and the terrifying Hua Lian was a giant dragon. In the belly of the dragon. Boom boom boom. The terrifying lotus of annihilation is mixed with the power of destroying the sky and the earth, instantly swallowing the two remaining ash, and then the terrifying power also explodes in an instant. Through the flames, it seems that the two people who were originally scattered suddenly stand together, but this is the case, and now they can't resist the power of this lotus of silence. If it was their peak moment, they could still have the strength to fight, but now it should also only end up in a dark end. The terrifying destructive power of the lotus of destruction instantly raised the entire cave to the ground. A huge battle turmoil also swept across the circle, and it is unknown whether the two Yu Hui are dead or alive. Xiao Yang also attacked Yu Hui with the lotus of destruction at the moment when the formation was broken, so as to achieve the most powerful offensive. However, when the formation was broken, Xiao Yang, the formation master, suffered some damage. After all, the formation formed by the battle formation master was closely related to the spiritual power of the formation master and the inscription of life. In addition to the fact that the lotus of brewing annihilation took away most of Xiao Yang's power, there were a lot of bloodshots on the corner of Xiao Yang's mouth at this time. Xiao Yang, you alright? You also hurriedly supported Xiao Yang, and then some precious medicinal pills appeared from the ring on the jade hand. Enough is enough. You're trying to eat me to death. Xiao Yang coughed violently, apparently due to Yueru swallowing at such a speed. Yueru also stopped what she was doing when she heard the words, but her eyes were still slightly wrinkled. Xiao Yang is also helpless about this. It can be seen that Yueru is concerned and confused, and then slightly adjusted her body for a second, and immediately refined a part of the medicinal pills, and then the medicinal pills sent by Yueru turned into an extremely pure energy flows through the body. Seeing that Yueru and Xiao Yang had such a close relationship, Mu Feng, who was beside him, couldn't help but smack his lips. Isn't it just a couple? Is there something remarkable? However, Mu Feng's heart has also undergone earth-shaking changes. Originally, he felt that Xiao Yang was a friend, but at this time, he was greatly surprised. Even though he met Xiao Yang in the tea house at first, and then in the cold pool in the secret room, Mu Feng knew that Xiao Yang must have some powerful cards. It's just that Mu Feng never thought that Xiao Yang would actually have the power to kill the late 4-star Do Emperor. You must know that this Xiao Yang is only the peak strength of the Samsung Do D. Others are real powerhouses in the late stage of the 4-star Do D, and Mu Feng knows the difference between the two clearly. If it was me, if I wanted to clean up the injured Yu Hui second brother, I would have to spend a lot of means. I didn't expect that Xiao Yan would actually do a few tricks. The cave was instantly razed to the ground, and the aftermath of the battle slowly dissipated. Are they dead? Mu Feng was also the first to speak, because he had already discovered that the aura of Yu Hui and the others had disappeared without a trace. A powerhouse in the late stage of the 4-star Do Di, the 10th place in the points plundering competition. If he died like this, it would be too much of a vain name, right? I said yes. Remaining ash? Xiao Yang also recovered a lot of strength, and then whispered into a void. A few violent coughs came out, and suddenly the figure of Yu Hui slowly appeared in front of the three of them, but his body was covered in scars, like a ******* man, and one of his palms that was blocking his chest seemed to be holding something. Damn boy, when my injury recovers, I will definitely not be able to get around you. Yu Hui was also extremely weak. At this time, he was already at the end of the game, and any contestant could easily kill him. Ha ha. I just said that you and I survived. It turned out that I used my own brother as a shield. This method is really cruel. Xiao Yang also said to Yu Hui. Obviously, according to Xiao Yang's estimation, the terrifying power of his own Lotus of Annihilation, and the blessing of Long Yi's Dragon Soul, he was able to deal with the injured too. The brothers came to resist the terrifying power of the Fire Lotus and escaped. Winning the king and losing the bandit, how can you take care of so much? Yu Hui also endured the feeling of being in a coma due to the serious injury and said, because he knew that once he was in a coma at this time, he would end up in a coma. Don't you just want points? How would you share the words I gave you? Yu Hui also looked at Xiao Yang and the three weakly. It's useless to sow discord. And I don't just want points. I want your life. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he turned into a flame and attacked the severely injured Ash. Xiao Yang knew very well that since Yu Hui was a powerhouse in the late stage of the 4-star Do Di, the strength behind him was definitely not weak, and since he had already forged a ****** feud, there was no need to leave any worries behind. He escaped, and the future revenge against Xiao Yang was also quite a headache. The seriously injured Yu Hui could easily kill him with a single blow, not to mention Xiao Yang's terrifying attack. Little chops. When I recover, I will definitely want you to die. Yu Hui said grimly. After he finished speaking, he didn't hesitate. He felt the killing intent of the man with the heavy ruler in front of him. Although he was not reconciled, his life was important. The ***** palm smashed the token heavily, and the whole person turned into a little in an instant. The light left the corpse forest. Crushing the token means giving up this trial. Damn. What about the points? Xiao Yang's goal was not to kill Yu Hui, but to force him away. Seeing that he had achieved his goal, Xiao Yang was also stunned for a moment, and then yelled loudly. The battle can be considered to be over at this time. Under the attack of Xiao Yang, the injured Yu Hui and Yu Jing escaped. Although Xiao Yang also wanted to kill Yu Hui, but the mysterious effect of the token for the competition just crushed it and left the infernal corpse forest, Xiao Yang was helpless. His grandmas. They are so dead and they are running, what should I do with the points? But when he realized it, Xiao Yang scolded. Because if the token is crushed, what about those points on top of the token? This is what he fought so hard to earn points. Xiao Yang doesn't care about the 9 super sects and the ranking of this trial, if only the top 10 are qualified to go to the Xianling royal family. That's where the holy flames are concerned. Even if there is only a slight possibility, it cannot be missed. After all, the rarity of the holy flame is well known. If the points disappeared, Xiao Yang would be extremely depressed. Points. It's already in our hands. Yu Rubei said in surprise as her lips moved slightly. Because at the moment when Yu Jing was attacked by Xiao Yang and died and Yu Hui escaped, a few rays of light also flew towards them. Oh. Hearing that, Xiao Yang also hurriedly took out his token, and then he was shocked to find that the number on his token jumped from 500 at the beginning to 25,000 now. And on the token in Xiao Yang's hand, a conspicuous 10 slowly appeared. Impressively, he soared directly to the 10th place in this trial. Sure enough, Xiao Yan also said with a smile, after all, only Xiao Yang dared to do such a terrifying thing with such a daring artist. It really gave us a big bargain. Mu Feng also said with a grin, because although the points of the token in Mu Feng's hand were not as much as 20,000 in Xiao Yang's hand, it has now increased to 13,000. The ranking on the card also instantly soared to 94. At this time, Mu Feng was completely defeated by Xiao Yang. If possible, he would definitely pull this Xiao Yang into the burning incense pavilion. Then, he. Mu Feng also laughed. And the token on Yu Ruyu's hand has also increased to 12,700 points, and the ranking has also been raised to 99th. With the end of the battle, some eye-catching words appeared on the tokens of the contestants in the corpse forest. Xiao Yang, the pinnacle of the 3-star Do Di, fought the wounded Yu Hui by himself, and Yu Hui was defeated. Replacing the 10th place, Yueru, Mu Feng was injured in the battle against Yu Jing, and Yu Jing was defeated. There are 99 Yueru and 94 Mu Feng in the early 4-star Do Di. Two huge pieces of information also spread with a bang. Haha, this Xiao Yang is really a daring and talented person. It is the first time I have seen him in so many years to be able to rely on his strength at the peak of the 3-star Do Di in the trials. Hu Du also looked at him. Xiao Yang's every move in the crystal ball. This kid is the only one who has reached 10th level in soul power in the past 1,000 years. I am also looking forward to this kid reaching various levels in this point-grabbing competition. Wu Jiang also said with admiration. But although this is true, Xiao Yang's strength at the peak of the 3-star Do Emperor is not enough to support him in the 10th place. After all the people who can enter the top 10 are the powerhouses of the late 4-star Do Emperor, or even that Mu Yingying is already a powerhouse at the pinnacle of the 4-star Do Di. I wonder how long he can last. Hu Du also laughed. This kid is not as simple as you think. If you don't believe it, just wait and see. Wu Jiang also didn't argue with Hu Du after all. If they started arguing, it could last for several days. This 10th place is actually the strength of the peak of Samsung Do Di. Is there something wrong with the token? No, it's impossible for the token to go wrong. There were constant voices in the corpse forest. A bunch of idiots. It's a joke to actually be awarded points by this Xiao Yang. The mere strength of the peak of the 3-star Do Di can also be involved in this 10th place. Let me find you and make you spit it out. Let's go, they definitely haven't gone far. Qiu Huanio also said angrily, and then rolled his eyes, looking around like a bird, and then heading towards a place that has been razed to ruins. Xiao Yang? The strength of the peak of the 3-star Do Emperor actually wants to keep the 10th place. It's a bit ridiculous. A man with a giant axe said with a disdainful face, and after that, he went to the place where Xiao Yang was. The discerning person knew at a glance that this person was the 11th-ranked Snow Axe, Xu Ni, with a giant axe as the main force, fighting 1,000 Jins, a powerhouse in the late stage of the 4-star Do Di. This 3-star Do Emperor's peak strength can defeat Yu Hui in the late 4-star Do Emperor. This Xiao Yang also has some secrets. However, this kid named Xiao Yang is actually cheap. Mu Yingying also saw the conspicuous words, and she immediately bit her mouth and said coquettishly. The heavenly fire sacred tiger transformed into a human figure and followed Mu Yingying, and the two were now at the entrance of the 3rd floor of the infernal corpse forest. Xiao Yang, are you alright? After the battle, Yueru and Mu Feng also noticed that Xiao Yang's breath was a little weak at this time, so they asked with concern. It's alright, protect me and I'll take care of it. Xiao Yang also responded, obviously dealing with the two remaining Hui and Yu Jing and causing him a lot of damage, but it was all worth it. Yueru's strength has already reached the early stage of the 4-star Do Emperor. Although her speed of improvement is much faster than that of Xiao Yang, who made Yueru the inheritor. It's really too hard to deal with the powerhouses in the late stage of the 4-star Do Di. Xiao Yang also whispered in his heart, after all, the reason why Yu Jing and Yu Hui were defeated by Xiao Yang was that Xiao Yang caught them all by surprise, and the two of them were also injured, so they were defeated by Xiao Yang. If they were replaced by Yu Hui and the two of them at their peak, Xiao Yang would have to deal with one of them. As for the two, it would be quite difficult. Xiao Yanzi, since Long Yi decided to submit himself and become a ruler, he naturally wanted him to show enough sincerity. The voice of the Golden Dragon King also sounded in Xiao Yang's mind. Compared to Xiao Yang, he was also overjoyed. Although he didn't know what the flame on Long Yi was, according to Xiao Yang's knowledge of the power of the flame on Long Yi's body was valuable and could be ranked in the list of different fires on Dochi continent. Top 10. If the flame on Long Yi can be combined, then for Xiao Yang, who is now at the peak of the 3-star Do Emperor, stepping into the 4-star Do Emperor is also a matter of course. After Long Yi became a ruler, Xiao Yang Liu had this idea, but this Long Yi and his master Jin Long King are impressively from the dragon family, and they are difficult to destroy, so Xiao Yang did not act rashly, but now his master Jin Long, if Wang said so, then things would be easy. Xiao Yang saw that Yueru and Mu Feng were protecting the Dharma for him, so he smiled and picked up the ancient ruler of Yihuaheng in his hand, and looked at the beautiful dragon pattern on the ruler. Kai Ling Longyai, who was entrenched in the ancient ruler of the eternal fire eternal, also seemed to have discovered Xiao Yang's actions, and then a feeling of unease filled his heart. Xiao Yang, what do you want to do? Long Yi also said angrily. Obviously, the Golden Dragon King was like a **** in Long Yi's mind, so Long Yi would never think that this was the idea of the Golden Dragon King, so he also thought that Xiao Yang suddenly stared at him. What is he doing with himself? Could it be that he found out? Long Yi, the fire on your body is not ordinary, right? Since you have become my ruler, you must show some sincerity, otherwise you know some of my secrets and the words of the Golden Dragon King. Xiao Yang also slightly with a smile. It is obvious that Long Yi is bound to win. Damn! How could you possibly know? Could it be that huge soul power and the flames on your body? Dragon Soul also said, struggling, and then looked at Xiao Yang, who was slowly recovering his fighting spirit wrapped in flames. Dragon Soul Long Yi fell into contemplation, because it also has a small calculation that belongs to him, so he also concealed something from Xiao Yang in the secret realm before. What Long Yi said is indeed true. It is true that 3 strong men used the excuse to help it avoid the catastrophe, thus trapping it in the secret realm, eliminating Long Yi's dragon body, so that Long Yi can only exist in the mysterious space of the secret realm in the state of soul. Among them, Long Yi defeated them with his powerful body and strength, and survived in the secret realm for thousands of years. The immortal swords obtained by the 3 human powerhouses are also extraordinary, but now there are some imperfections, and the power they attract is greatly reduced, and Xiao Yang is also not used to swords, or the ancient ruler of eternal fire is more suitable, so he was rejected by Xiao Yang. Yang closed. However, there is one thing that Long Yi did not mention to Xiao Yang. The reason why Long Yi was stung by 3 fighting immortal-level human powerhouses was because of the power of flames on his body. Long Yi is the fire dragon who loves flames the most in the dragon family. The flame of the fire dragon is extremely tyrannical, and the power of the blood on Long Yi is also extremely strong, so that the blood on Long Yi has mutated, which makes the flame on Long Yi changed again. After the flame on Long Yi mutated, it became extremely powerful. Although it is not as powerful as the holy flame, it is similar to the strange fire on Xiao Yang's body. The flame on Long Yi's body is called blood flame. It is a new flame produced by Long Yi's natural flame and mutated blood. The fire is born from blood and can instantly ignite the blood in the enemy's body, so as to achieve one-shot fatality. This ability to burn the blood of the opponent's body can only be used when the strength is lower than his own, but it can also produce a good suppression in the same level, but the most peculiar thing is that it can restrain the power of the opponent's blood. This is undoubtedly the most powerful ruler for some families that deal with monsters or have the power of extremely pure blood. It's no wonder that Long Yi is being targeted. The reason why Long Yi doesn't talk about this is because Long Yi is now the spirit of the ancient ruler of Yihuaheng, but as long as the owner of the ancient ruler of Yihuaheng in the future, Xiao Yang, let it out, then it can also be in the state of the soul existence. After following Xiao Yang for a few days, Long Yi also discovered that Xiao Yang possessed as many as 22 different types of flame powers, some of which were threatening to Long Yi. This is what makes Long Yi most puzzled. The power of a flame is extremely violent, not to mention that Xiao Yan has as many as 22 in his body. How did he keep these flames safe and sound? This is something that has always troubled Long Yi, but when Long Yi turned around, he also found that the flame in Xiao Yang's body seemed to be slowly devouring his own flame power. This frightened Long Yi, and then Long Yi only dared to shrink within the ancient ruler of the eternal fire. At the same time, Long Yi was extremely worried that Xiao Yang would swallow its flames. If the flames were swallowed up, then in the state of Long Yi's soul, he was not far from falling, so Long Yi also kept silent about it, but how could he know that it was discovered by Xiao Yang? Xiao Yang, don't be too aggressive. Long Yi also said angrily at this time. This Xiao Yang just wanted to force Long Yi to death. The red flames on Long Yi's body slowly surrounded him. If something went wrong, he would attack Xiao Yang. Don't worry, the Master Jin Long King told me that your current state is quite special, but if you help me, then in the future, Xiao Yang will definitely give it to him with his own hands. Xiao Yang was also imposing. Said arrogantly. Bijia pill. Long Yi was also stunned at this time. The famous name of this recovery pill has been heard for a long time. This pill has a 50% chance of evading the catastrophe, which is really a coincidence. Among the 7 realms, except for those in the ghost realm, who cannot cultivate into a human form, the rest of the 5 realms want to cultivate into a human form. After all, human beings are the superiority of all things, and are incomparable to other creatures. Just like the previous heavenly fire sacred tiger, although he can temporarily transform into a human form, after all, his strength and lifespan are not enough, and he cannot transform into a real human for cultivation, so there is a time limit. As for Long Yi, it is different. Long Yi's first catastrophe was also killed by him. 3 human powerhouses escaped by hiding in the secret realm. However, although they are the body of the soul, after careful calculation, the next catastrophe will come in less than 50 years, and then heavenly tribulation is the most powerful force. Even the current Long Yi is quite a headache. Can you? Long Yi said. The first and second pills of the Emperor's rank are no longer under pressure, and the third rank of the Emperor is also within easy reach. The robbery pill is ranked in the 4th rank of Immortal rank, which is more than the rank of 3rd rank of Emperor rank, but before you cross the calamity, Xiao Yang will definitely offer it. Xiao Yang also insisted. I swear by my soul. Xiao Yang said, in order to give Long Yi a reassurance. Long Yi is also thinking, although he is now Kai Ling, but if he wants to escape, Xiao Yang, who wants to come to the peak of the 3-star fighting emperor, can't stop himself, but when he thinks that the Golden Dragon King takes a fancy to Xiao Yang, he is also attached to Xiao Yang. On Yang, Long Yi shook his head and rejected the decision. What's more, I have only 40 years to face the second catastrophe. Although this Xiao Yang is currently only a 2nd-rank emperor alchemist, he can be defeated by the son of the dragon god. If the Golden Dragon King is selected, then Long Yi is not worried at all about his future achievements. Ha, then I'll bet on it. After Long Yi finished speaking, the fiery red flames all over his body instantly condensed at the dragon's mouth, and then a scorching flame slowly moved from above the eternal fire eternal ruler to the on Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang controlled this extremely pure flame, and whispered in his mouth, is this the original fire of that fierce blood and flame? Sure enough, the power is not bad. 4-star Do D, if you don't make a breakthrough at this time, how long will it be? After he finished speaking, he closed his eyes, and Xiao Yang swallowed the source fire of blazing blood and flames in one gulp, and then the burning art in his body slowly started to run. At the same time, the aura in Xiao Yang's body also skyrocketed. This breath is good guy, he's actually breaking through the 4-star Do D. Mu Feng also saw it at a glance. Be careful not to let people disturb Xiao Yang. Yu also moved her eyes slightly, scanning the 4 directions vigilantly. Xiao Yang child, hand over the points of Yu Hui and Yu Jing, and then get out of the corpse forest. Young master will spare you. A loud voice echoed where Xiao Yang and the others were, and then Yu and Mu Feng suddenly saw a figure with a giant axe on his back. It's troublesome now. Yu also said softly, and then she glanced at Xiao Yang who was behind her, her body condensed with fighting spirit. You the 99th Yueru and the 94th Mufeng. The two people in the early stage of the 4-star Do D. Those who are acquainted should move away. I'm not interested in your points. The giant axe Xiao Yan also said with a look of disdain. Stop. You also bit her lip slightly, although it was quite difficult to deal with Xiao Yan, the giant axe of the late 4-star Do Emperor, but she still couldn't hold back Xiao Yan. Mu Feng also took a step forward. At this time, it was obvious that Yueru, a woman, could not be allowed to deal with the giant axe Xiao Yan. The man's demeanor was undoubtedly displayed. Baby, based on the strength of your two 4-star Do Di in the early stage, this is not enough. Xiao Yan also saw the obstruction of the two, and knew that if Xiao Yang was to be moved, their obstruction would be indispensable. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he disappeared in place in an instant, and the next moment was in front of Yueru and Mu Feng, and the two fists attacked Yueru and Mu Feng respectively. The powerhouses of the late 4-star Do Di were indeed well deserved. Their speed and strength were far beyond what Yueru and the others could resist. With the sound of the two fists, Yueru and Mu Feng were also beaten at the same time and backed up a lot before they stabilized their pace. Damn it, this giant axe, Xiao Yan, ranked 11th, really has some strength. Mu Feng also wiped the blood on the corner of his mouth and said, Mu Feng, if you lose the match, you should leave first. There is no need to get hurt for us. Yueru said to Mu Feng with a slight smile. Needless to say, Xiao Yang and your two friends, Mu Feng, have made an agreement. Yu was interrupted by Mu Feng before she could finish her words, and then a wooden sword appeared in her hand, facing each step by step. The giant axe Xiao Yan attacked towards Xiao Yang. The strength of the peak of the 3-star Do Di dares to get involved in this 10th place. It's a bit ridiculous. The man Xiao Yan, who was carrying a giant axe, said with disdain. It seemed that Xiao Yang was sitting on the ground, as if he was healing. It's actually breaking through the 4-star Do Di. As he got closer, Xiao Yan also found it impressively. An ant is an ant after all, and the 4-star Do Di can't change the fact that you were killed. Some things, if you don't have enough strength, it's better to touch less. After speaking, the giant axe Xiao Yan slightly pulled out the red giant axe behind him, slashed at Xiao Yang viciously. Although the giant axe Xiao Yan is arrogant, he is still cautious about this Xiao Yang and does not hesitate to use his famous giant axe, which can be regarded as worthy of his Xiao Yang. The red giant axe carried an axe beam of dozens of meters, and the extremely **** aura above the axe beam seemed to be able to instantly kill Xiao Yang's attack. 2-2. Between the sparks of light, the moment when Xiao Yan's red giant axe slashed fiercely at Xiao Yang, Mu Feng's attack also came. Mu Feng's figure moved, and then his agile movement also resisted the axe with a mysterious power emanating from the wooden sword in his hand. Boom boom boom. The terrifying energy fluctuation also exploded, and then it also resisted the attack of the giant axe Xiao Yan. Damn boy, it's none of your business here. You can't die? Xiao Yan said angrily when he saw that his attack was destroyed. However, anger turned into anger. Xiao Yan was able to rank 11th, but he had a very careful mind. Although he didn't use all his strength in the attack just now, it was quite difficult for even an ordinary 4-star Do Emperor mid-stage powerhouse to deal with, but the man named Mu Feng in front of him was able to easily resist it, which made Xiao Yan to both of them. People are starting to pay attention. We are a team. If you want to move him, you have to pass me first. Mu Feng also said slowly. Mu Feng also knew that it would be extremely difficult to use his strength as a 4-star Do Di in the early stage to get the top 100 in the points plundering competition of such a strong man as Lin, but if he could follow Xiao Yang, then this kind of thing would be very difficult. It is also impossible to succeed if it is not destroyed. After all, Mu Feng has tasted the sweetness. Although the points of Yu Jing and Yu Hui were shared equally by Yu Jing and Yu Jing, the two of them made very few shots from the beginning to the end of the battle. Mu Feng also became confident in this small team of 3. I don't know the heights of the boy. Then let's start with you. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he also held his giant axe tightly in his palm, and then attacked Mu Feng. It must be done quickly, otherwise it will increase the difficulty for Xiao Yan to break through the 4-star duty. Although Xiao Yan is not afraid of the 3 4-star duty, he is also afraid that someone else will come to a mantis to catch the cicada and the oriole. After thinking for a while, Xiao Yan also exuded red Do Qi all over his body, and his strength in the later stage of the 4-star Do Emperor was undoubtedly revealed. Does he want a quick solution? Mu Feng also said softly. Boy, you may die with this axe. Xiao Yan also laughed. This giant axe has 1,000 jins of power. In addition to Xiao Yan's fire attribute vindictiveness, the terrifying strength adds to the terrifying power. Fire attribute vindictive, destructive power is also increased geometrically. The power of the blood axe. Xiao Yan shouted loudly, and then the huge giant axe with dozens of feet in his hand split out of thin air, and then an identical giant axe appeared. He held a giant axe in his left and right hands, and the 2 axes crossed and slashed towards Mu Feng. 2 terrifying axe beams formed a cross and attacked Mu Feng. 4-star Do D is really powerful in the late stage. After Mu Feng finished speaking, looking at the terrifying cross-energy axe in front of him, he also moved vigilantly. Yin-yang gossip, listen to my orders, smash, smash, smash. Mu Feng's voice was not loud, and Xiao Yan didn't know what he was doing, but Xiao Yan was confident that his attack could seriously hurt this kid. But just after Mu Feng finished speaking, the wooden sword in his hand exuded a burst of dazzling light, and then collided with the 11 axe beams in the mid-air, drinking under Mu Feng's control. Boy, it's too late to admit defeat now. Otherwise? Xiao Yan's threatening voice also sounded. That's not necessarily. Mu Feng smiled strangely. In mid-air, the cross-axe and Mu Feng's wooden sword collided. But the strange thing is that Mu Feng's dazzling wooden sword actually broke through the cross-axe and then attacked Xiao Yan. How is it possible? It's the power of penetration. Xiao Yan was also shocked. Then, when he saw that the dazzling wooden sword was about to attack in front of him, his red fighting chi was pushed to the extreme, and then he gently waved the 2 giant axes in his hand, and the wooden sword controlled by Mu Feng was also blown away. Going out, at the same time, Mu Feng also vomited out a mouthful of blood. Damn it, it's almost. Mu Feng said weakly. Obviously, although the magic trick he just cast had some mysterious power, it was also quite heavy on him. I didn't expect your power to be so mysterious. If you are also a powerhouse in the late stage of the 4-star Do Di, I'm not as good as you, but it's a pity. You won't have this chance. Go to ***** with resentment. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, his body was full of vindictive energy, and then he viciously attacked the injured Mu Feng. The terrifying axe contained terrifying power. Damn it! Seeing this, Yu also raised her jade hand slightly and walked away towards her smooth forehead. At this time, she couldn't care too much, and she could only unlock the seal. Leave the rest to me. A soft voice sounded in Yu's ear, and then Yu's hand that just touched her forehead was gently put down by a familiar palm. Xiao Yan's powerful attack also came to Mu Feng in an instant. With Xiao Yan's strength, he had absolute confidence to seriously injure Mu Feng. Xiao Yan's giant axe is called Cracking Mountain Axe, which is a giant axe with a long history. Rumor has it that this axe is full of power, and it has the power to split mountains. A mountain range rises from the ground. In addition, the promotion of branches and mountains are closely linked, so even if it is the peak of the 4 Do Emperors, it is extremely difficult to express the might of the mountain. After the familiar palm gently touched her, Yueru felt that a familiar and extremely huge force was also attacking Natsuni. Damn it! Mu Feng also saw that Xiao Yan actually exuded such terrifying power, and also knew that this was coming with the intention of killing, and then secretly cursed, and then had no time to escape, so he had to resist. Boom boom boom. The heavy axe in Xiao Yan's hand slashed fiercely, and the blood and flesh in his imagination did not appear, but he felt that the giant axe in his hand seemed to be blocked by some hard movement. In front of Mu Feng, the terrifying attack of Xiao Yan's double axe was blocked by a heavy black ruler. Are you looking for me? Xiao Yan also raised his head and smiled at Xiao Yan. There was a sense of confidence in his smile. Just a hairy boy who knows how to hide behind a woman. Do you think that breaking through to the early stage of the 4-star Do Di can change the situation? The real powerhouse is. Xiao Yan also said with a proud face. Obviously, the 3 people who didn't know the 4-star Do Emperor early stage could bring him a lot of trouble. After all, 2 of them have lost their fighting ability. As for this Xiao Yan's words, there's a lot of nonsense. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he raised his left hand slightly, and suddenly the ancient ruler of different fires in his hand exerted force, shaking Xiao Yan's giant axe away. Are you all right? Xiao Yan also stretched out his right hand and walked towards Mu Feng. Obviously, what Mu Feng said just now was also heard by Xiao Yan. Not to mention anything else, it is because Mu Feng knows the profound technique of slaying demons and exorcising demons, so that Xiao Yan can make friends. What Mu Feng said is indeed true. After all, if it is a lie, it cannot escape Xiao Yan. This huge soul power. Hey, it's all right, if you come a little late, you'll be fine. Mu Feng also grinned, obviously not taking other things to heart. Breakthrough? This Xiao Yan is a bit strong. The powerhouses in the late stage of the 4-star Do Di are also ranked 11th just after you. Mu Feng and Xiao Yan were also talking intermittently. Don't worry, I can handle it. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, a delicate bottle appeared in front of Mu Feng, and Mu Feng accepted it unceremoniously. Then Mu Feng moved to the side, opened the bottle and found that a very fragrant medicinal herb was also spread out, and then it was too late to swallow the pain. If you say enough, you will die. Xiao Yan also discovered that the medicinal pills in Mu Feng's hands were not ordinary, and must be some quite high-level medicinal pills, which also had a very good effect on restoring strength. Xiao Yan also secretly guessed that if he was not the son of a big family, then he must be an alchemist with a high rank. Xiao Yan was covered in red vindictiveness, and then the double axe in his hand also exuded a wave of destruction, and then Xiao Yan moved. Unpredictable, unprepared. Just be fast. Ruthless. Allow. Be fast. Let the opponent not be able to distinguish between the afterimage and the main body. The shot must be ruthless, the terrifying attack can make the opponent unable to fight back. The attack must be accurate. Focus on the enemy's vital points to attack, so that one hit is deadly. Xiao Yan moved, the left hand of the giant axe in both hands was slightly pulled back, and then rotated in place. The right giant axe flew viciously towards Xiao Yan with the help of inertia. Xiao Yan himself already has 1,000 jins of power, and with this inertial force, it has a terrifying weight of 6,000 jins. If you are hit by these terrifying slashes, you will have to shed skin if you don't die. Humph! Xiao Yan also snorted coldly, and then the terrifying flames instantly possessed his body. He held the ancient ruler of eternal fire with both hands tightly. On the ancient ruler of eternal fire, 23 colors were slowly flowing. Right? 23. Relying on the 22 different fires brought by Xiao Yan from the Dochi continent, and now adding Long Yi's original fire, there are already 23. The source fire that devoured Long Yi not only improved Xiao Yan's strength, but also Xiao Yan was pleasantly surprised to find that the Fen Ju in his body also instantly entered the low level of the immortal rank. Although it is only a low-level immortal, it is undoubtedly insignificant compared to a high-level heaven. If it is said that Fen Ju, a high-level heaven ranked, is the C, then the current low-ranking immortal rank is just several Cs gathered together. Xiao Yan didn't use any poison either. He just held the ancient ruler of eternal fire and faced Xiao Yan's attack head-on. Save! The giant axe and the different fire constant ancient ruler attacked together tightly. Then, 2 different types of fighting chi storms swept across from the feet of the 2 of them. The space where the 2 were fighting seemed to be solidified. The giant axe and the ancient ruler of the different fire were tightly attached to each other, and the 2 were also expressionless. The next moment, the 23 colors of flames above the eternal fire eternal ruler suddenly passed through the giant axe, and then went towards Xiao Yan. Damn it! Now it was Xiao Yan's turn to be surprised. Although he had long expected that Xiao Yan would not be a simple character, and he was more prepared, how could he imagine that Xiao Yan's flames would find a hole in it? You must know that Xiao Yan is an extremely powerful fire attribute powerhouse. Therefore, when dealing with Xiao Yan, who is also a fire attribute, a simple understanding of this will not have any effect, and it will not attract any attention. The flames on Xiao Yan's body were in his eyes. But at this time he was wrong. And it's terribly wrong. Xiao Yan's flames are really terrifying. When the 23 different flames were just passed to Xiao Yan along the giant axe, Xiao Yan realized that something was wrong, but when he wanted to expel the flame, he realized that something was wrong, but it was already too late. 23 kinds of flames invaded Xiao Yan's body, and then flames of different natures began to stimulate their characteristics. Void swallowing inflammation, responsible for swallowing and writing the fighting spirit in Xiao Yan's body. Even if he is the strength of the late 4-star Do Emperor, he can't withstand much swallowing. The pure lotus demon fire, when Xiao Yan used his grudge, produced a flame that burned his inner soul a little, so Xiao Yan had to guard against it. The blazing flames of blood burned the blood in Xiao Yan's body, as if even the blood could burn. 23 kinds of flames jumped up and down in Xiao Yan's body, so that Xiao Yan, who was arrogant, also had a lot of sweat on his forehead. He had no doubt that if he let these flames in his body, then within a quarter of an hour, your internal organs will be turned to ashes. Just when Xiao Yan was in a hurry, Xiao Yan moved, and an attack containing terrifying energy also appeared in front of Xiao Yan. This video will end here.